This week I've been continuing our build, renovating this old shed into an art studio. As a solo woman working alone in the rainforest, I've definitely come across some problems. This week I got bitten by a spider, I made my fair share of mistakes while building walls, and I learnt a whole lot along the way. So today I'm going to start building a stud wall upstairs in the loft. So instead of getting all the timber and having to measure, come downstairs, then cut it outside, I'm gonna try to take these workhorses up and I'm gonna try to cut up there. So I'm going to build a wall along here, and then all of the space this way will stay as a loft bedroom, and all of the space that way is going to be sort of a storage space, which is accessible from that side over there. And normally you build the stud wall on the floor and then you'd lift it up, but because this space is so wonky, there is not a single beam that is straight in here. Everything is wonky. So I'm going to build it into place so that I can kind of adjust to the wall. At the moment we have this loft room which is accessed from the back, but I'm going to build a wall here which will create this tiny room for storage. It will be accessed through a little secret door and a ladder from the main studio. In this whole build, nothing is simple. My dad built the structure of this shed before he died, and since we've renovated it to protect its creation. But honestly, those renovations were pretty dodgy, and the original structure is built by hand from trees that were in this very spot. So as with any natural organic material, nothing is even and everything has holes and gaps. But that's what gives it so much character. In this build, I'm trying to honour the original structure and beautiful craftsmanship while also making things a little bit more waterproof and less holy. I've run into my first problem on the first board. I don't know how am I supposed to line up the bottom with the top? Like, I know that the wall should come to here and hit this beam, but like, can I just do I have to do that by eye? I could use a level, but the levels are only that big, and so I wouldn't be able to. I have an idea. I should put a temporary beam in place and see if it lines up. It's quite simple. Oh, and this, I should have a level now, and I could level it with this and make an extra long level. I am so smart. Okay. I think. Yes! That is level. Oh my gosh. Amazing. There is nothing more powerful than working out a solution to a problem on your own, especially a building solution. Part of my journey of learning to build is the frustration of learning to build with old rusty tools. We don't have a power saw, so I've been doing everything by hand, but we don't actually have a saw either. I was borrowing my uncle's, so now I'm using a reciprocating saw. I'm trying to put the top beam in. Top plate? Ooh, was that a snake? No, it was a shadow. Ooh, no, it's a gecko. Sorry, gecko. Yes! So a little context to why I'm so scared of snakes here is, see this bit of insulation all up there? That is where the snakes live, and so when you sleep here, you can just hear them all night long catching mice and just, I don't know, slithering around, doing whatever snakes do. So it's not that fun. You kind of had nightmares all night. So building this little room, that's kind of part of the reason, I guess, because the snakes can just have this room. Well, it'll be a storage room, but the snake's room. And then this side will be safety because this insulation is all really tight, so the snakes can't live underneath it. These are the things you have to consider while living in the Australian rainforest. Snakes everywhere. Because of all the leaks in the roof and the windows that had become so wet that they were growing mushrooms inside the studio, we were aiming to finish this build before the wet season hit. Of course, like with any schedule, that didn't happen, and we ended up with the building completely open during the biggest storms and floods you could imagine. But now the space is mostly sealed, and we barely have any leaks. With all the stress of trying to seal everything before more storms came, it feels good to finally be able to have fun and think about things slowly as the rain drops in the tin roof. So I've done the maths and I think I need 4 here, 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 and here. And then I'll start noggining. So studs are supposed to be 450 apart. And I was a little bit naughty and I thought that I could make it a little bit wider because it's not like supporting that much. It's just a wall that's not really doing much. So I did one less than I should have, but it's turned out to be 530, which like I thought would be okay when I did the maths, but now I'm looking at it and it looks pretty wide and I hope it's gonna be okay. It's a bit naughty. We've been getting a lot more sun this week, which we appreciate so much. The morning routine of caring for the animals is always so beautiful. Their little characters brightening my day. When I'm busy building all day long every day, a slow morning almost feels necessary. Just slowing down and softly watching the morning arrive lets me be so much more present in my build. I often remember something, or I solve a problem that I couldn't work out yesterday, or I just let my mind be blank for a while. Summer here means the deafening song of cicadas. Because the last few years have been so wet, more cicadas than usual have hatched, so it's particularly noisy this season. Some cicadas can produce sounds up to 120 decibels, and their sound fills the forest in the summer.
Ducks are laying again. Oh no, someone laid a tiny egg.
The summer heat is intense right now, but these early mornings are such a beautiful break from the weather. The first sun on my back is so soft and warm.
So nipply this morning.
Julia has been unwell for the past few weeks, so I've been working on the build and caring for the animals on my own.
Like the attention for yourself.
She has ME, or chronic fatigue syndrome, and sometimes has flare-ups that means she can't do anything but rest and wait for her body to recover. It's a difficult thing that she's faced since she was young, but she's okay and just resting. In our book, Julia writes about her experience and how she has found art and caring for the land to help her through difficult times.
Good boy.
So I really want to get this stud wall finished today. It's a really hot day, but I think I can do it. I'm excited. I got all the wood that I needed yesterday. I just was missing 2 pieces, so I had to drive like an hour there and an hour back just to get that. But I bought a new saw. I'm pretty excited. We love all the old tools that we have here, but they're probably like over 50 years old, because I reckon Dad got them secondhand a long time ago. And that means that they're all really beautiful old tools that aren't really made like that anymore, but it also means that they're all very rusty and blunt. So if anyone has suggestions on how to get rust out of tools and how to sharpen them, please tell me. But I thought that I would treat myself to just one new saw. I forgot to charge the drill battery last night, so I can't pre-drill the holes to put nails in, and I'm really bad at nailing. I finished my stud wall, now I just have to put lining boards on it. I was going to put the boards across ways, but since it's it's 40 mil difference from end to end, so I think that's gonna look really obvious. If I went crossways, you'd kind of see that. So I'm gonna go up and down instead, and I'm gonna do that in that end because it'll suit over there as well. So I think that'll match nicely. That to there. Okay.
These boards got completely flooded when there was a big storm a couple of weeks ago. They were warped and I was terrified that they would be unusable, so we've been trying to dry them ever since. These are some of the only new materials that we've bought for this whole build because we weren't able to find them secondhand or recycled, so it's quite funny but also devastating that now they've become quite ruined and they look stained like they were found somewhere.
This is the moment that I'm going to find out if these boards are too warped to use or not, and I'm really hoping that it's going to be okay. I think that maybe I've unwarped them, I've flattened them out. So we got 150 millimeters of rain last night, so I feel like that's a real test to see if there's any more leaks in the roof, and I think so far it seems okay. There's a tiny leak at my feet, but it's only a little bit, and with that much rain it could have been a lot worse. And then, annoyingly, I must have not closed the door properly last night, so it blew open, so we've got a bit of a leak here. I'm pretty mad at myself for that, but at least that's just human error. So I've made more than a few mistakes in this war, and my biggest one has just come to light. I realized it, but now I realize how bad it is. I built the stud wall right against the beam on the top, which I thought was good because then I could drill into it, but I should have built it a little bit off so that then I could stick the boards in behind so then it would be neat. But I thought that was the only issue, but it turns out that I do need to nail the boards into something up high to give them support, and at the moment there's nothing up there. So I need to add some more noggins, which is really annoying, and I don't even know if I have enough timber for it, so it's a bit of a problem. It's okay, I guess. This is the first time I've ever built a wall on my own, so I've gotta live and learn, and I know that next time when I build a wall I definitely won't make these same mistakes. So I think I ran out of wood, but I'm just going to work on what I can work on for now and then see if there's any wood hidden away somewhere. Hopefully there's some scraps, because it's not much that I need. Today is the day that I attempt to put wood around the windows. This is the job that I've been avoiding the most because I'm really stressed about it, because it's going to be hard. The windows are really weighted now that they have glass in them, so their pressure is kind of going to make it really hard to slip boards in behind. But I think I can do it. I woke up really early so it wouldn't be that hot up here.
This is probably my most challenging job yet. I have to shape each board with tiny angles to fit around the windows and screws, and then the window is damaged in one spot, so I have to sand the lining board so that it fits with the thin space left.
It's not gonna go in. So despite this taking such a long time to get in there, this board is a little bit wrong. So I'm going to take it out and just use it as a template for the next board, but it took me so long. I sanded the back, I put all of these little notches in with a jigsaw. I did so much, so it feels like a little step backwards, but it just means the next one will be really neat. This is the moment that we find out if it fits or if I've stuffed it up more. I hope it's gonna fit. If it doesn't, I'm gonna be really sad. Oh my god, it's in. It looks so good. That's the neatest thing I've ever done. It's not that neat, but it's the neatest thing I've ever done. This has to squish in here, which it can do, but the thing is that I can't get them to join together and also fit into all of the little tiny gaps that they're supposed to go into. So I don't know if this is cheating, I don't know if this is allowed in carpentry, but I'm just gonna take off the back of this groove so that it can just sit flat against it and it won't actually like go into the tongue and groove. It's just gonna be like a fake board. Spoiler alert, I'm okay, but I just got bitten by a spider and I thought that it was a funnel web spider, which is the world's deadliest spider, and it's been pretty scary. So I was nailing these boards in and I had my head up here in the cobwebs and there was a whole spider web that I got all through my hair and I didn't realize it was there and I just was like, oh no, and I wiped it away. And then I saw a spider in the web later and it was a creepy looking black spider about this big, with big fang things, I don't know what they're called, and I was like, ooh, that looks like a bad spider, but I didn't think much of it. And then I got welts on my neck, big swollen welts, exactly where my head had been in the spiderweb nest, and so I thought, ooh, that's not good. And so I walked to reception and I googled what a funnel web spider looks like, and it looked exactly the same. I was sure that it was a funnel web spider. It had, from what I thought, the same web. It had everything, looked the same, and so I was like, oh, okay, cool, I've been bitten by a funnel web spider, what does that mean? So I googled, how deadly is a funnel web spider? Google told me that you die within 15 minutes, so I was like, not good, but I was bitten about an hour and a half ago, so I'm not dead yet, so that's good. And then I looked into it a bit more because I thought, well, if I'm not dead, it can't be too bad. And it turns out I'm pretty sure there's a really similar looking spider that's actually just a house spider. So it's okay. That's why I think I'm okay, because I don't think a funnel web, now that I've researched it more, funnel webs wouldn't be in a dry spot like this. They really like wet spots. And the web looks a little different and the spider looks exactly the same, but there's a few differences. So it's all good. I'm alive. I'm fine. It's fine. But it's a bit of a lesson. Like, I was a bit silly. I would not advise any of the things that I did. If you are bitten by a spider or a snake in Australia, don't think about it. Just go get it checked out, because honestly, so many people try to identify the snakes that they get bitten by and think that it's fine, and it sometimes isn't, and so you have to take everything really seriously, which I was silly and I didn't. I'm feeling so proud. I finished this whole room. I put all of these boards on and I made them really neat despite it being very hard. So I'm feeling just really proud of myself. This is all skills that I never ever thought that I'd be able to do, and I did it. And it's neat.
Thank you so much to our patrons. We are really grateful for your support and belief in our journey. Next week I'm going to tackle the secret room and decorate this one.